your opening tips, hallelujah. In Cleveland, LeBron James leaves the suit in the locker for the first time in 2 weeks. We'll tell you who stole the show from him. Commissioner David Stern won't punish Isaiah Thomas or Madison Square Garden with a sexual harassment judgment against them. And an all-too-familiar scene for TJ Ford, who landed in the hospital after a hard fall to the floor in Atlanta. The latest on his condition coming up on this episode of NBA Fast Break. Hi, everyone. I'm Matt Weiner along with Jalen Rose and Kiki Vandeweghe. These guys are going to tell Kevin Durant how he can improve his scoring game a little later on. First, though, a guy who doesn't necessarily need coaching so much as he desperately needs to get back on the floor for his team to repeat as Eastern Conference champs. The King is back. All hail the King. That in a moment. First, the Spurs and the Warriors. Tim Duncan did not play tonight. Manu Ginobili did after a pair of 37-point games in his absence.
Well, you know, really, it's going to eventually catch up with you. You've got to have Tim Duncan on the court. He's the difference maker. And the thing I like about the Warriors, they are a very good defensive team.
And they're a team that wants to score a lot of points, so they're going to gamble a lot. And they have a lot of guys that want to make steals and get it to the open floor, like Steven Jackson.
What kind of a difference Steven Jackson has made for this team?
Oh, he gives them an identity, and that's what I like about Nelly-type teams. They pick something. They're a running team. They've got all these type of players that are very similar, that can shoot from the outside. You see Steven Jackson bringing it on the offensive end as well as the defensive end. Baron Davis, one of the most talented guys there is on the court. But Steven Jackson really is an all-around player, very, very underrated.
Lead is expanding. It's 14 when Jackson works the crossover to get himself past Matt Bonner, and then over the head, not looking... I'm at a loss for word. Andres Biedrins finish. That's what you need to know.
Not only versatility, Steven Jackson's bringing an air of toughness to that team as well.
Getting late there, 10-point Warrior lead. Baron Davis has 18 points and 6 rebounds for the home team. Well, LeBron James has been styling of late, but in his absence, his team has been anything but. 82 points per game, shooting less than 39% from the field. And you see the record 0-5 as the King recovered from that sprained left index finger. But James back in uniform and available. He did not start, but did play against the Pacers.
That's what happens when your teams go 0-6 without you. You get a standing ovation when you return.
He's got that contraption on his hand. First shot since the injury, no good. No matter, because the Cavaliers look like a rejuvenated team, not only with LeBron, but Larry Hughes rolling in this game.
Well, he was on fire tonight, but the guy who I think made a big difference is Verja. And you see him right in the middle with all the hair, and you know his teammates love him. He's kind of the driver guy, the energy bunny for this team. LeBron playing some defense.
Yeah, and by the way, the right hand, it's fine.
The right hand is fine. Now it's hurt slapping the ball so.
Bump and bucket, he's still strong. Cavs go on a 26-3 run in the first quarter. The pull-up jumper here is good. Cavs up by 13. Watch him work over Sean Williams with the crossover.
Oh, wow. And you know what? It's just not fair when that happens to you. There's a guy that's 6'8", 6'9", 240, can drive through you, drive around you, drive over you, and he really took Sean Williams to school.
So rust evidently not an issue as LeBron takes
one hand to beat up top.
Whoa! He's back! And he has a contraption on his hand we got to follow. It looks more than actually like a pinky injury, more like a hand injury.
Meanwhile, Larry Hughes out of his court. Anderson Varejao finally back in uniform now that the holdout's over. 24 minutes, 6 points, 9 boards for him. LeBron, the friendly bounce. The rim still like him.
And it is going. It's going for you.
And it was going for Larry Hughes. Bank shot. 13 of 17 from the field. He finished with 36 in the big Cavalier win. Smiles all around as the 6-game losing streak comes to an end. It was the second best scoring night of Larry Hughes' career as a Cavalier, but everybody wondering how LeBron James is feeling after his first action in 6 games.
Hey, Bron, when was the last time you didn't start?
The last time I didn't start was probably never.
Were you asked to come off the bench on Friday?
No, I'll probably be in the starting lineup. This is not going to continue.
Well, Anderson Varejao is going to have an impact. Larry Hughes, he had been missing time. This was only his second game back from the injury, but obviously the difference maker is the superstar LeBron James. How much better are the Cavaliers with him as opposed to without him?
Well, they're a team last year that went to the NBA Finals with LeBron James on the floor. He's an MVP candidate. He's giving you 38 and 8, big-time numbers. When he's out of the game, not only is he the most creative player on the Cleveland Cavaliers roster, but he's also their leading scorer. So you miss a ton, you go 0-6 when he's out of the lineup. He's back in the lineup. Guys are confident. They understand that they're going to get opportunities that are open. They can make the play. And LeBron makes everybody's better. And he runs the floor with the best of them in this league, Kiki.
Well, Jalen, it's very interesting to me because, you know, with LeBron James, they're averaging 100 points a game. Without him, 82 points a game. He's the driver. He's the identity of this team. He's the guy who makes things happen for everybody else. You notice Larry Hughes, suddenly his shots were a little bit easier. They were more wide open. Varejao got the tip-ins. They were out running. They played a much faster style. LeBron James is one of the best open court players in the game. And, you know, he was excited today. He was ready to go. And you notice the score was much better. The pace was much better. They're going to be an effective team. They've got a bunch of role players and LeBron James, but you know what? With him, it's good enough.
You know, there's something to be said for buzz in the building, too.
Oh, yeah. You know, it's very interesting, and Jalen's been there with some great buildings, but, you know, when you get excited like that and the building's going and you're getting a standing ovation, hey, you feel like you can do anything.
And you got a crowd favorite back in Varejao, as you mentioned, Kiki. And imagine, here's a guy that was in Brazil over the summer. Now, I've never been to Brazil, but can you stay in shape in Brazil?
Hey, 24 minutes, he's 6 points, 9 rebounds. I mean, yeah, you can stay in shape.
He looked pretty good, and Mike Brown said his body weight, the body mass index was all pretty close to what it should be for game shape.
Well, maybe we should all go to Brazil and stay
I need
in
extra
shape.
hair like that. That would help me
right after
stay
the show.
in shape.
Off to Brazil. And off to break we go. When we come back here on NBA Fast Break, we've got the latest on TJ Ford after a nasty fall sent the Raptor point guard off on a stretcher in Atlanta, an all too familiar scene for him. Another triple-double shot of frustration for Jason Kidd. What's happening on the Nets' home court is enough to give a guy a headache. Plus, he's the prohibitive favorite for Rookie of the Year, but Kiki and Jalen will show us how Kevin Durant can get even better.